America is enormous. So big, in fact, that you could drive for hours and never see another soul, only to stumble across something so bizarre it defies explanation. Between the endless highways and wide-open spaces, the United States hides secrets on a truly massive scale. Places that are more than just quirky roadside attractions. These are locations so strange, so colossal, that you can spot them from space, or they're tucked behind fences topped with government warning signs. Today, we're not just chasing after the world's largest ball of twine or a UFO-themed diner. We're zooming out to the satellite view and then diving deep into the mysteries. The place is so strange they've sparked wild stories and government cover-ups. From giant painted targets in the desert to lakes so toxic they look like alien experiments gone wrong, this is a journey into America's weirdest corners. And trust me, each stop is more unbelievable than the last. If you love exploring the world's strangest places from the comfort of your screen, make sure to subscribe. There's so much more to uncover, and every map dive promises another jaw-dropping surprise. Let's get started. If you've ever panned over Nevada's endless desert on Google Maps, you might have seen it, a massive, perfectly circular target, painted in stark white, sitting all alone in the sand. It's the kind of thing that makes you pause, zoom in, and say, wait, what? Is this where aliens practice their aim? Is it some sort of top-secret landing pad for UFOs who missed Area 51? I mean, if you were an intergalactic tourist, you'd want clear signage, right? But as much as I'd love to claim this is proof that the Martians are coming in peace, and with excellent marksmanship, the truth is a little more down to earth. These huge targets were used during the Cold War, not for extraterrestrials, but for satellites and pilots. Calibration targets, they're called big geometric patterns laid out in the desert so that spy satellites and bomber crews could fine-tune their accuracy from miles above. Even so, it's hard not to imagine the confusion of a pilot seeing this for the first time, or the countless conspiracy theories it must have spawned among anyone with access to satellite imagery. Picture the scene. An unsuspecting drone operator zooms in, expecting more sand, and instead finds a bullseye the size of a football field. Not ominous at all. Of course, the existence of these targets is no accident. The wide-open, sparsely populated spaces of Nevada make it a perfect canvas for military experiments, and a playground for anyone with a taste for the unexplained. Whether you're a cartographer, a conspiracy theorist, or just someone who loves a good mystery, there's something fascinating about a giant target with no obvious purpose. And that's the beauty of America's hidden mysteries. Sometimes, the explanation is practical, military precision, Cold War paranoia, or just good old-fashioned government weirdness. But that doesn't make it any less compelling to stumble across a literal bullseye in the middle of nowhere, especially when it looks like it was made for an alien invasion. So the next time you're scrolling across the Nevada desert, keep an eye out. You never know what other symbols might be lurking out there, waiting for someone curious enough to ask, why? Everyone's heard of Area 51, the epicenter of UFO lore, government secrecy, and enough conspiracy theories to keep the internet spinning for decades. But what if I told you there's a place even more mysterious, just down the road? Welcome to Area 52, the lesser-known, but arguably even weirder sibling of Area 51. If Area 51 is where aliens land, then Area 52 is where they hang out and play poker. The real name for Area 52 is the Tonopah Test Range, a sprawling expanse of restricted desert where the government tests things it really doesn't want you to see. Over the years, it's been a hotspot for everything from nuclear detonations to cutting-edge stealth technology. If you've ever seen a triangular black aircraft streaking across the sky, chances are good it was born here. What makes Area 52 so compelling is its commitment to secrecy. While Area 51 has become a pop culture phenomenon, complete with gift shops and alien-themed motels, Area 52 just sits there, quietly doing whatever it is the government does in the desert. There are no tours, no t-shirts, and definitely no Instagram selfies at the front gate. Instead, you get miles of fencing, ominous warning signs, and the occasional rumor of strange lights in the night sky. Of course, secrecy breeds speculation. Locals whisper about underground tunnels, hidden airstrips, and experiments that would make even the X-Files writers raise an eyebrow. Some say Area 52 is where the real alien tech is stored, the stuff too wild even for Area 51. Others insist it's all just smoke and mirrors. A decoy for the truly secret bases hidden even deeper in the desert. But here's the thing, the government actually admits that Area 52 exists. They just won't say what happens there. That little kernel of truth is enough to keep curiosity alive, fueling everything from late-night radio callers to amateur sleuths camping in the desert with binoculars and hope. The best part? You can see the outlines of its runways and strange geometric patterns right from Google Maps. It's a reminder that, even in the age of satellites, there are still secrets hiding in plain sight, if you know where to look. So next time you hear someone talk about Area 51, just give a knowing smile and ask them about its even stranger neighbor. Because in the world of secret government sites, there's always something weirder just over the horizon. Imagine waking up one morning in a sleepy Utah valley, only to find entire flocks of sheep, thousands of them, suddenly dead. No, this isn't the plot of a new sci-fi horror film. It's what actually happened in 1968, just outside Dugway Proving Ground, one of America's most secretive military testing sites. And the culprit? Not a monster, but a nerve agent called VX. Dugway Proving Ground is the kind of place where the government goes to test things it doesn't want anyone else to know about. Chemical weapons, biological agents, and who knows what else. On that fateful March day, a routine test went horribly wrong. A cloud of deadly VX gas meant to stay safely above the ground drifted downwind and settled over the fields. By morning, more than 6,000 sheep were dead, and the locals were left with a very grim mystery. The tragedy quickly made headlines, and for a brief moment, the veil of secrecy was lifted. The government admitted responsibility, but details were scarce. The real story, how, why, and what else might have been released, remained locked behind closed doors. For conspiracy theorists, it was like Christmas came early, but the incident wasn't just a PR nightmare, it was a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in America's hidden corners. Dugway is still active today, shrouded in secrecy, its boundaries marked by warning signs and guarded gates. If you ask the government for details, you'll get the usual response: we can neither confirm nor deny. And yet, Dugway's existence is a poorly kept secret. You can see it from space-vast tracts of land, crisscrossed with strange patterns, isolated buildings, and the occasional plume of mystery smoke. For decades, it's been a magnet for rumors about everything from UFOs to secret germ warfare projects. For the people who live nearby, Dugway is both a source of dread and fascination. It's the ultimate keep-out zone, a place where science, secrecy, and sometimes disaster collide. If any place deserves the title America's Real X-Files, this is it. So if you ever find yourself driving through Utah's deserts and see a sign warning you to keep out, just remember, sometimes the strangest stories are the ones that actually happened. On first glance, the Berkeley Pit in Butte, Montana looks almost beautiful, an expansive lake, shimmering with deep reds and emerald greens surrounded by rugged hills. But don't be fooled, this is no mountain paradise. The Berkeley Pit is one of the most toxic lakes in the world, a nightmarish concoction of acid, heavy metals, and a kaleidoscope of chemicals. The pit was once a thriving open-pit copper mine, but when mining stopped in 1982, groundwater began to fill the massive hole left behind. Over the years, rain and runoff turned the pit into a cauldron of contaminated water. The colors you see are the result of dissolved metals, iron, copper, arsenic, and more. It's a real-life lava lamp, except instead of groovy blobs, you get a deadly brew that can literally dissolve metal. And yet, as horrifying as it sounds, the Berkeley Pit is also a scientific marvel. In the midst of all that toxicity, researchers have discovered extremophile organisms, microbes that not only survive in acid, but thrive. These tiny life forms could hold the key to new antibiotics, industrial enzymes, and even clues to life on other planets. But let's not sugarcoat it. The pit is dangerous. Local legend has it that a flock of geese once landed on the water and didn't make it out again. There are warning signs all around, and for good reason. This is not the place for a summer swim, unless you're hoping to star in your own episode of Stranger Things. Still, there's something mesmerizing about the way nature adapts, even in the most hostile environments. The Berkeley Pit is a reminder that beauty and danger often go hand in hand. and that the world's weirdest places are sometimes the most scientifically valuable. Today, you can visit a viewing platform and peer into the pit's eerie, multicolored depths. Just don't get any ideas about taking a dip. Even the hardiest microbes know their limits. So, next time you see a sparkling blue lake on a map, maybe double-check before packing your swimsuit. Some mysteries are better admired from a distance. Let's take a trip to Utah, where the landscape is already otherworldly. Red rock arches, endless mesas, and, if you look from above, a series of neon blue pools that look like something out of a sci-fi movie. These are the Moab Potash evaporation ponds, and they're so striking that astronauts have snapped photos from the International Space Station. The pools are part of an industrial process to harvest potash, a key ingredient in fertilizer. Water is pumped underground to dissolve potash ore, then brought to the surface, and poured into vast, shallow ponds. The intense desert sun does the rest, slowly evaporating the water and leaving behind brilliant blue crystals. From space, the effect is stunning. A patchwork of electric blue rectangles set against the rust-red desert. It's not just beautiful, it's almost hypnotic. If you didn't know better, you might assume it was some kind of alien art installation. But as tempting as it looks, you definitely don't want to swim here. The water is laced with chemicals, and the process is strictly industrial. The blue color comes from dye added to speed up evaporation, not nature's paintbrush. In fact, the whole operation is a fascinating blend of science, engineering, and a touch of desert weirdness. The ponds are a reminder of how humans have shaped the landscape in unexpected ways. What started as a mining operation has become an unintentional landmark, a place people seek out just to marvel at from the air or from Google Earth. So next time you're scrolling over Moab, don't be surprised if you see a sea of blue in the middle of the red desert. It's not a mirage or a Photoshop trick. It's just another example of America hiding its strangest sights in plain view. And of course, another reason to keep exploring. Because in the American West, the line between industrial wonder and natural beauty is always a little bit blurry. If you ever find yourself scanning the Nevada desert, you might notice something baffling. Hundreds of perfectly round circles, neatly arranged in the sand. They look like crop circles, but there's no corn or wheat in sight. Are they alien messages? Secret landing pads? The world's largest game of Twister? The answer, as usual, is stranger than fiction. These circles are part of the FACE facility. That's the Free Air Carbon Dioxide Enrichment Site, a government experiment dedicated to understanding how plants react to changing levels of carbon dioxide. Instead of little green men, you get big green science. But that hasn't stopped the rumors. For years, armchair investigators and UFO enthusiasts have pored over satellite images, convinced these circles were proof of extraterrestrial visitors or covert government signaling. The patterns are so precise, so unnatural looking, that it's easy to see why imaginations run wild. The real story is a bit more mundane, but still fascinating. FACE sites pump CO2 into open-air rings, creating mini-environments where scientists can study how crops and wild plants respond to future levels of greenhouse gases. It's the kind of experiment that could help us predict, and maybe even mitigate, the impact of climate change. Still, you can't blame people for jumping to alien conclusions. The circles look utterly out of place in the otherwise stark desert, and there's no obvious explanation from the ground. It's only when you dig a little deeper, or read the fine print on a government report, that the truth comes out. Even knowing the answer, it's hard not to appreciate the weirdness. Here's a secret research facility, conducting cutting-edge science in the middle of nowhere, and the only evidence is a series of mysterious circles visible from space. It's like something out of a Dan Brown novel, but with more botany and less Vatican intrigue. So next time someone sends you a blurry photo of alien crop circles in Nevada, you'll know the real story. But feel free to play along, because sometimes the truth is just as strange as the myth. After a journey like this, it's hard to look at a map, or the world around you, the same way ever again. The United States isn't just a patchwork of cities, highways, and national parks. It's a treasure trove of secrets, accidents, and experiments, some hiding in plain sight, others buried under decades of mystery. Each strange sight is a reminder that there's always another story lurking just beyond the next zoom in. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into America's hidden oddities, don't forget to subscribe for even more journeys into the weird, the wonderful, and the downright inexplicable. There's a whole world of strange places out there just waiting to be explored, one map at a time. So the next time you're scrolling through Google Maps and spot something that just doesn't make sense, remember, you might have just discovered the next great mystery. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. See you on the next map dive.